Hello Divi Nation and welcome. Coming up in today's tutorial, how to style Divi's post slider module to look like Facebook's Newsroom post slider. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let me show you how to create this. Before we get started, we're going to need a lot of CSS code that we're going to use to customize our post slider. So all this CSS code that we're going to use throughout this tutorial can be found in the post that I'll link in the show notes below. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to go into our WordPress admin dashboard. So I'm going to come over here, click on my dashboard. Now let's create a brand new page and call it slider. So I'm going to come over here to pages, click on add new, and I'm going to call this slider. Click on use the Divi builder, and then I'm going to go straight into my visual builder. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and add our columns. So I'm just going to click this plus button here, click on single column, click on the plus button again to add our module. And the module that we're going to use is our post slider. So I'm going to click on post slider. So on the content here, we need to specify how many posts we need to have. And I'm just going to add 3 because you don't want to have too many on there because it becomes very distracting. Next, we need to add our background color. So I'm going to come over here to background, click this plus button, and I am going to add a white background. So I'm just entering my hexadecimal value here. Okay, so that's good. So next I need to customize my dot navigation colors. So I'm going to come over here to design, and then you need to click on navigation. And then I'm going to select my dot nav color and I'm going to paste it here like that. So now we're going to come over here to our header text. We're going to make sure that it's bold, and I'm also going to change my color and paste it here in my settings area. So we're going to make sure the header font size is set to 34 pixels and the header line height needs to be set to 42 pixels. Next, let's go to our body text color and let's change our color to this color right here, which I've pasted in this area. Now, if you'd like to follow along and use our specific colors and layout options, you can follow step by step by going to our post, which I've linked in the show notes below. Okay, so now that we have our color, the next thing we need to do is to adjust our body line height. And this needs to be set to 24 pixels. Now it's time to customize our button. So in order for us to make changes to our button, we need to make sure that we activate the use custom styles for button. So I'm going to click that. And now we can do all our adjustments to our button. So the first thing we're going to do is to make sure that our button text size is set to 16. Our button border width is set to 0. Now it's time to add our CSS ID. So I'm going to come over here to the advanced tab, click on CSS ID and classes, and I'm going to paste my CSS ID in here. So now let's add our CSS. So I'm going to come over here to custom CSS, and then in the before tab, I'm going to go ahead and paste my CSS like that. I'm going to come over here to my main element and paste my next CSS code. I'm going to come over to the after, do the same, paste my CSS code. And I'm not sure if you can see this on the right here. As soon as we've entered that, you can see now that we have a top stories right here in the top. In fact, let me remove it so you can see it. So now I've removed it, and then I'm going to paste it. So you can see that that adds that styling right there. I'm going to do the same for the slide description, paste my text in here, and now you can see that the layout is starting to change. The next CSS we're going to add is going to change our font type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in here, and you can see now that our font has now changed. Next, I'm going to add my CSS from my slide's title. So I'm just going to paste it here. I'm going to add the CSS for the slide button, the slide controllers. I'm going to paste my CSS in here as well. And then finally, I'm going to add the CSS for the slide arrows. So now you can see if I hover over here, these are now stylized. Now that we've added all our CSS, let's go ahead and save. So now we can see that in the background, we have this image hiding in the background. So we need some CSS to customize that and make sure that it comes to the foreground. So I'm going to come over here to my expand settings, and this time I'm going to add my CSS to this page. So I'm going to click on page settings, come over here to CSS, and I'm going to paste my code in here. So now you can see that our image is now showing. Next, we need to take care of our post meta. So I'm going to come over here to my CSS tab and paste this CSS code. Now there's one thing that we need to fix. Now, if I hover over here, you can see that both arrows are showing. So we can take care of that by adding some CSS code. So I'm just going to add the CSS code in here. And now when I hover, it only shows one arrow. So as you can see, we are missing our navigation dots. So again, to show those dots, we need to add our CSS code, which I'll paste again here. And now you can see we have those dots. Finally, we're going to add some CSS code to customize our animation slider. So I'm going to paste the code in here, come over here and click on save. And then we can also publish our page and exit the visual builder. Okay, so this is our final design. So as you can see, our slider is showing the 3 posts that we specified during the settings. So as I scroll through these, this will only show my 3 posts. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we produce new videos. Until next time, thanks for watching and see you soon.